is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm Monica, and today I'm going to be bringing you my 15-minute makeup routine. I am so excited to share this with you guys because it's something I sort of developed a couple of weeks ago and have been really heavily relying on a day-to-day basis because I do work from home, but I do still like to be productive, and part of that productivity, at least in my mind, is getting ready beyond just showering and putting skincare on or washing my face and putting skincare on. So I have been really enjoying this routine because it allows me to take a couple of minutes in the morning for myself to sort of just like get ready for the day mentally, but also it doesn't take too much time to where it kind of cuts into the day, or I don't have to wake up extremely early to make this makeup routine work. So I'm really excited to share it with you guys today. If you want an even shorter routine, I did put up a 5 to 10 minute makeup routine video last year, and I'll link it up in the eye and down below. But for now, let's all grab our coffee, caffeinate, and get ready together. So the first thing I do, no matter what the day or what routine I'm doing, is curl my eyelashes. I use this Shiseido eyelash curler, by the way. I realized I never really talked about it, but I use this all the time. I personally love it. It is a little bit pricier. It's just a standard eyelash curler, but I really enjoy it. I know that a lot of people who have issues with their lashes staying curled love this. I can't really speak to that fact because my eyelashes are naturally kind of curled anyway, because I have like wavy curly-ish hair and my eyelashes are kind of, you know, they kind of replicate that. But I really like it regardless. Just remember to always change out the pads so you don't accidentally like cut your eyelashes off or whatever. I just love to do this because I feel like it immediately makes me look a little bit more awake because my eyelashes are lifted compared to them not being lifted, obviously. And also I like the coldness of the eyelash curler in the morning. I feel like it kind of like wakes me up. I feel like that sounds so weird, but I also mentioned that in that 5 to 10 minute makeup routine video, and I stand by it. It's true. So one thing that differs between my 5 to 10 minute makeup routine and my 15-minute makeup routine is that I do use an eyelash primer in this routine. I cut that step if I am wanting to get ready even faster, but if I have the time and the energy, I do enjoy just throwing it on. And this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer, by the way. It's just my go-to. I have loved it and recommended it literally since it came out. It's amazing. So I feel like the next product I'm going to be talking about is sort of like beating a dead horse because this was a favorite from last year that I talked about in my favorites of 2024, but this is the Essence Lash Without Limits, the brown one specifically. This is my all-time favorite brown mascara. It is the perfect lighter brown and perfect for every day. I truly love it so much, and it's like $5, and I've recommended it to a couple of people. Anybody who asks for a mascara recommendation will be getting this as their recommendation because I don't like to necessarily recommend high-end mascaras like the Rare Beauty one that I do love so much, but that one is definitely a little bit pricier, and it's a lot more approachable to offer somebody like a $5 mascara option that, by the way, competes with the Rare Beauty mascara. So something to be said for that. Most of the time I do go in with 2 coats of mascara regardless of the mascara because I just find that's my preferred look, but I don't actually necessarily think that you need 2 coats with this mascara. So just in case you were wondering, this is a one and done coat sort of mascara if you don't want to put in that extra effort of putting 2 coats on, but I do typically put that second layer on just because I feel like it. So the next thing I go in with is my Sigma Eye Primer. I just like to neutralize the veininess in my eyelids. If you can sort of see, I definitely struggle with that, especially if I'm tired or have to wake up early, or both, which is usually the case. I'm usually tired and waking up early. But this I just find does such a nice job of blanking out my eyelids and just allowing me to get ready for the next step, or I can honestly just leave it like this, just with this one product, because it just makes my eyelid look like the rest of my skin, which is nice, but it also provides like that concealer-like coverage, which is why I like this product so much. Just look at how nicely that just blanks my eyelids out. I feel like I already look so much more awake, so highly recommend if you're gonna get anything from this video and you have really veiny eyelids like me, the Sigma Eye Primer in both Ignite and Persuade are amazing options to just blank out your eyelid. So the next product I'm gonna go in with is another repeated favorite, but it is the L'Oreal, what is this called? Le Shadow Stick. I always forget the name of it, but this is in the shade Alluring Rose. It's like a matte rosy-ish, but sort of neutral eyeshadow. So I just love to go over the Sigma eyeshadow base with it because it's a stick and it's just so easy to just literally just sloppily put on. You don't even have to be very intentional about where you put it. And then I just take my finger and just blend it over, and it's very workable for like the first 20 seconds that it's on your eye, but after that it dries down and doesn't crease all day. I highly recommend these. This is just my personal favorite shade, but I feel like it's such an underrated and under talked about product. I just feel like it looks like I put in way more effort than I did. I love the color. I love the illusion that I'm not just maybe wearing one shadow. There's a little bit of dimension, and I just love this product so much. I don't know how more people aren't talking about it. I feel like it's severely underrated and severely under talked about. So if you haven't tried the Le Shadow Sticks from L'Oreal, specifically maybe try the shade Alluring Rose, because I feel like it is the most wearable shade, but the formula is what makes this so amazing. I love it so much. So the next thing I do is go in with spot concealer. I love to use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer and just take it on. This is actually an Energy 270 brush. I don't know, I got them on Amazon. I have like 7 because I love them so much, but I love to go in and spot conceal, so I can maybe not use as much foundation as I would normally need to, just for hyperpigmentation and stuff. I have like black stuff on my face, and it's not the mascara, it's something that I've been dealing with my skincare with my skincare. I think it's like on one of my products, but I can't figure out which one it is because I keep like cleaning them, and it looks like mascara, but it's not. It's like little black specks. It's really annoying actually. I do sometimes like to literally conceal my entire nose. It's not something I talk about a lot because I feel like it would be like you know, grounds for criticism, but I feel like my nose gets so red, especially in the winter, and so this is just a way of like minimizing the amount of foundation I would wear on my nose, because it's just going ahead and concealing it and sort of making it like a blank canvas. But I don't like to put too much because I don't want it to get cakey, of course. So I go in with like a little bit of a light layer. And then I just, you know, take the rest wherever else I may need to. So this next product I feel like I've also kind of beaten into the ground as well, because if you've been around my channel for the past like 3 to 4 weeks, I have been kind of giving this a lot of praise, specifically in my last dupes video, which was the last video that went up, because this is a dupe for my all-time favorite stick foundation, the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Stick. And so I have just really been loving this. I have it in the shade 4. I did initially try the shade 3, which I feel redundant saying this again, but it's a little bit too light. 4 kind of evens out without washing me out, and I felt like 3 was just the slightest bit too light. So I just literally take it all over my face, and if you think it looks maybe a little dark right now, it will all even out. Because I just find if I get a foundation that is lighter, it literally washes me out and makes me look really Casper-y. So I go in with a variety of different brushes, but my most commonly used brush for stick foundation is the e.l.f. Complexion Duo. I love this. It's the perfect density, but I also love the BK Beauty 101. This is the mini one. Obviously, it's been used. And I also love the Hailey's Beauty foundation brush as well, and the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush is also a great option for really any foundation, and same with those in this one, but specifically stick foundations, I feel like is where those shine. So I literally just like quickly blend it in. It requires so little effort. It's so nice. It takes me like 2 seconds to just blend this in and get it on my face. And after foundation, that's the turning point in my makeup routine where I just feel so much better about myself. I just feel like, especially when the weather gets cold, that my skin kind of can show a little bit more hyperpigmentation or redness. I don't struggle with eczema or like rosacea, but I do feel like pigmentation kind of comes out a little bit more in the colder months. Maybe it has to do with it being a little bit more dry, but I just feel like once I put foundation on, I look so much better. I just love this foundation so much. I feel like even after completely blending in, it takes like 2 more minutes to itself to just melt in and become even more skin-like. It truly is a dupe for that Fenty stick foundation. So if you haven't tried this one, this has just as much of a shade range as the Fenty 25 shades. You most likely will be able to find your shade match in this, so I highly recommend it. So the next step, of course, is concealer. So I do toggle between my two favorites, the Catrice True Skin and then the Natasha Denona. I have used this to death on my channel, and I used that in my last makeup routine video, so I'm gonna use this one today. I just love both so much. They are, I talked about them in my dupes video, they are pretty much the exact same, so I don't necessarily think you need to go out and buy this, but I do enjoy this one so much, and the Catrice has truly been my holy grail for years. I love to put them on and then let them sit for like 15-ish to 20 seconds. Sometimes I do go in and spot conceal if I see that there are some spots that need just a little bit more coverage, so that's what I did down here. But other than that, I don't think the rest of my face needs any more coverage, so I'm gonna let this sit, and then I'm gonna come back and blend this out with you guys, and that it's coming together so nicely. So now that that has sat for about 15 seconds, I'm going to go in with this little elf sponge that I love so much, and it's so cute because it's purple, and I'm just going to blend my under eyes in. I just love a sponge for blending in concealer. I know brushes are making a rise, and I love the Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush. I use this one quite a bit, as you can see, because it's been used, but I do typically go back to sponges because I don't know, even though I do feel like sometimes they can take away a little bit of coverage, I love the finish so much. And honestly, sometimes in the morning, the feeling of a brush under my eyes, I have really sensitive under eye skin, as I'm sure a lot of us do, and even sometimes with the Angie Hot and Flashy brush, I feel like it's so abrasive on my under eye that I'm kind of like, my eyes like kind of start to water, and I feel like I'm making a really unattractive face blending in this concealer. But yeah, so I usually just stick with a sponge, especially when I'm getting ready in the morning, because I feel like brushes are just a little bit too rough for my under eyes that early. I do like to go back into the little energy brush I use, and if I spot conceal over like I did here, I like to use that rather than a sponge because I want the maximum amount of coverage. It's hard to say that when you're literally going the opposite way with the brush against what you're saying, but I just feel like that way you get the most coverage, and the rest of my face isn't as sensitive to brushes in the morning as my under eyes are. So now what I like to do is go in with a pressed powder. I was using the Cosmetics one for months. I am literally nearly done except for like a little bit on the edge with this, and I will always go in with the pressed powder with this Real Techniques setting brush, and I just love to set my under eyes like that, especially in the winter. Sometimes in the summer I bake, but in the winter my skin does lean a little bit drier, so I typically just like to stick with pressed powders. I'm not going to be using the Cosmetics one today. I'm going to be using the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Pressed Powder. They repackaged this. I know a lot of people thought that it was being discontinued, but they just kind of updated the packaging a little bit to go with the times, and I have really been loving this. I did try to use the Pretty Smart pressed powder that I picked out in my latest Shop My Stash, but it's too dark for my under eyes, so I just have to use that all over my, I'm just like trying to make sure I don't have any creases, but I do use that powder to set all over my face when I use it, but it's not my favorite, and it's not the one I've been using, so we'll get to that. But this one, I just love to take this Real Techniques brush and just get it in there and make really unattractive faces to set under the eye. I do prefer this powder to the Cosmetics one. I was really a stan for the Cosmetics one until I tried this. It is so blurring, and I did try it when it was in its other packaging, and I feel like the formula is still pretty much the same, but I wasn't into pressed powders under the eye, and I didn't love it all over the face. So I just kind of like wrote it off and didn't really touch it for years, but I did want to give it another try now that I have gotten into pressed powders for under my eyes. And I also just go around and set my T-zone a little bit on the tip of my nose, corners, you know, the creases on the sides of your nose. I just try to get like where fine lines might start to show, or you know, like where expression lines show, because they're not even really fine lines, it's just when I smile sometimes. If I don't have powder there, it's more noticeable. Not that I don't appreciate my smile lines, I enjoy being happy. So I don't do this every single day, so maybe this is a little misleading, but I just love this so much, so I just wanted to show you. I use this quite a lot, so it is a nearly everyday thing, but I love to go in with the Physicians Formula Diamond Bronzer. It's their cream bronzer. It is my absolute favorite. A lot of times I take it on this Profusion Buffing Foundation Brush, the FD1, very creative. And I do enjoy just bronzing up my face with this cream. It is just the easiest cream bronzer out there. I love it so much, more than my high-end ones, more than any other drugstore competitors. And I want to get the other shade. That is their only caveat, is that they literally only have 2 shades, which is ridiculous, but I love it so much. I really do. They blend so nicely. It's so easy to use, and I love the tone of it. I feel like it doesn't take any time at all, which is why I do like to use it so much, but you certainly don't need to use both bronzers, because I do use 2 typically, but you could always just go in with a cream and then not go in with anything else. But I do sometimes like to go in with a powder with this and just set it. I have been alternating between some bronzers, 2 in particular, but sometimes I bring in more. I love, this is a holy grail, the Infallible bronzer. I have this in both my fair and tanner shade, and then this was my bronzer winner of the year for my favorites of 2024. It's a glowy bronzer from RMS, and it's in their lightest shade, Beach Walk Betty. And so I love to take this on my Rephr 05 brush. I did mention this in my last routine video that I did, the 5 to 10 minute makeup one, and I was like, you don't need to buy it, it's so expensive. You don't need to buy it. However, I have not found another bronzer brush that competes, so just so you know, I love this so much. I ended up buying 2 more of these during the I almost said Black Betty because it's Beach Walk Betty, like, you know that song, during the Black Friday sale. And I did get them for half off. They were still like 20-something dollars, but I love this bronzer brush so much, and I love it with every single bronzer that I use. So I am going to jump back to blush. Sometimes I bypass that, but recently I've just been loving the blush that I have talked about an obscene amount, that I'm going to talk about more again today, so much that I use it most days. But before we do that, I want to show you the face powder I've been using for all over my face. This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Halo Glow Powder Filter. I just dropped the puff on my lap and it scared me. I'm going in with the BK Beauty 105 brush. I love this so much. I tried this and wasn't expecting to like this powder as much as I do, which is pretty funny, but I do, and it doesn't break me out like the Halo Glow Filter fluid that they have. This has not caused me any problems at all, and I truly love it so much. It's so easy to use. By the way, I have this in the shade, what is it? Fair Neutral Cool. I think it's like their lightest shade or one of the lightest shades. And I do feel like their shade range is just a little strange, but I do find that this shade works perfectly for me. But I did just kind of want to give that little caveat. I love how it just kind of, you know, mattifies a little bit, but allows a little bit of life to show from the skin, a little bit of glow, but it's not so much to where it's, you know, too glowy and it's not going to slide off my face. So I have really been enjoying this product, and honestly, it totally surprised me how much I enjoy it. So if you've ever hung out on my channel for really any length of time at all before this, you know how much I love the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blushes. This is my go-to favorite shade, Baroque. I love to use this when I am fair. I have like 2 or 3 other shades. I have, what's the other, Rococo, and then their limited edition pink one that I don't remember the name of, but this is just the most perfect neutral, kind of like a bronzer, but really it is a blush. It's just very approachable and so good for every day, especially if you've got fair skin. I love this so much. Nobody ever talks about these blushes, and they're so good. I love all the ones I have so much, and honestly, I've said this before and I'm not going to take it back. I'm just going to reiterate it. I could get rid of all the blushes in my collection and just have this, and I'd be totally fine. So we're just about done. I've just got a couple more steps to cover with you guys. Eyebrows and lower lashes. My eyebrow routine has not changed in a really long time. These 2 products I'm going to talk to you guys about and show you in action today are ones that were my favorites of 2024. We've got the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in Soft Blonde. I love this so much because it's literally 10 out of 10. The texture of it is great. It's not waxy in like a bad way, but it's got a little bit of movement to it, but it's not super stiff, but it's just stiff enough to where you're not going to go in so heavy-handed. It's really easy to work with. And then the shade is absolutely perfect. I've never seen a shade match quite like this from any other brand, not even high-end. This is just the perfect ashy tone, and I feel like my eyebrows always look their best when I've got this in and then the next one. So I'm just kind of throwing this one in real quick and just kind of, you know, filling in those sparse areas without going too heavy-handed. And I just feel like I already look better. So now that we've got them filled in a little bit, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This is in the shade Taupe, and I love this so much on its own and with this eyebrow pencil. I feel like together though is where they shine the most. I love when my eyebrows look the way they do with these, and after I apply this, I do go in with a spoolie and just kind of make sure it's all combed in, like a clean spoolie with nothing else on it, so that way I can just kind of lay any stray hairs down without distributing more product. I actually do have a couple of lip products I'm using as well. I feel like I kind of accidentally left those out, but before we get there, I'm going to be going in with the very worn out Lash Discovery from Maybelline on my lower lashes, just to kind of blacken them. I don't want them to look spidery, but I do like to blacken them. I feel like it helps me look a little bit more awake. I really need to repurchase that because the label itself shows you that it needs to be repurchased. So now I'm going to go in with my Sephora Colorful Eyeliner in Coconut. It's the same one I was using last year, it's just shorter because I use it so much. I literally just take it on my lower waterline. It helps me look more awake, and I just like how it neutralizes the pinkiness of that lower waterline that I have pretty much all the time, every single day. So the next product I'm going to be using is pretty new in general, but pretty new to me. It is the NYX Lip IV Hydrating Gloss Serum. It's supposed to be like a lip tint. I know it like says it's a gloss serum, but everyone I've seen uses it like they put it on and then they wipe it off. I have this in the shade, by the way. Why do they always hide the shade in inconspicuous places? I never can find it. Hydra Honey. Took me a second to find it. So I literally just go on before I put lip liner on, and I'm going to apply it very intricately, and then I'm going to wipe it off. It sounds wasteful, but I promise this makes my lips last all day. So I just like to go in. It smells, by the way, like exactly like the Tarte Maracuja lip plumpers. I do feel like it has a little bit of a plumping quality to it, but when you wipe it off, of course, it kind of goes away. But anyway, so I just like to apply this very specifically so that way I don't mess up with my lip lines, because once I wipe it off, I am going to go in with lip liner, and that's going to be like my lip for the day. So now that it's on, I am about to literally take a tissue and wipe it off very carefully, because I don't want to, like, of course, smear it on my face. It's very sticky like this. I know that you can wear it like this if you want, but I personally don't want to. So I'm just going to gently wipe this off and be as careful as I can while hopefully leaving a decent stain. As you can see, it's left a nice like blushy lip stain, and I love to go over this with the Rimmel Exaggerate Lip Liner in Innocent, my go-to, because I'm gonna put it all over my lips, and then if this ever starts to wear off, which it doesn't really, but if it ever does, if I'm like eating or drinking, this stain will come through and it'll look really nice and natural. So I'm just gonna throw this on. I highly recommend it. Get it at Walgreens. You can find it in store, you just have to dig, but if not, you can always get it like on Walgreens's, is that how you say that? On Walgreens app or website. But yeah, I just love this lip liner so much, and I've really been loving the NYX Lip IV. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this on, put it all over my lips, and just make sure I coat my lips evenly, and then we'll pretty much be done. So that is it for today's look. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoyed the way that this all came together. I have been loving this routine for a couple of weeks. Like I said, it does require just a few more steps than my 5 to 10 minute makeup routine does, but I love it so much. I've really been relying on this heavily, and I find that it makes me look like I tried way harder than I did, but I did allow myself just a little bit of time to get ready in the morning without cutting into my workday or anything like that. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell down below so you don't miss out on my future videos, and also subscribe if you haven't already. If this does happen to be the first time that you are stumbling across my channel, definitely go check out the rest of it, see if you like what I put out there. I do a variety of different things under the lifestyle and beauty categories, so if you like those types of things, definitely check me out like I said, and see if you like what I put out there. And if you do like what I put out there, subscribe, because I'd love to have you become a part of my family over here long term. But for now, that is it. So I'm going to bid you the best rest of your day, and I will go ahead and see you guys in my next video. Bye.